Hello, I'm Paul Johnson. So recently in Mecha Anime we've been seeing some pretty interesting stuff like, as you're seeing here, this kind of, they're getting 3D models and rotoscoping around them to give this really cool kind of cockpit effect. So I thought I'd give it a try and kind of show you my cheating techniques. So what I did was build a really terrible 3D model using my terrible 3D skills. I can't do faces, so I just stole this head from somewhere and just slapped it on there and moved the camera around in the cockpit a bit, like so. So with this as a guide, I could then do my lines over the top of that. Obviously the most important thing is to get the head on first, draw the face on, because this 3D head is a 3D head of a kind of realistic looking dude, and I needed to do a kind of anime style head. So yeah, as you see here, that's kind of what I did. It looks really weird, but it does the job. So yeah, next stage was to, now that I've got the head done, basically ink over everything. So over all of those 3D background bits, all of the 3D elements, which allows me to do this kind of crazy camera angle madness that would be really hard or impossible for someone of my limited skills to do by hand. Next stage, get the shading in there. You know, I like my shading. So here it is with shading. It still just has a purple background for chroma keying, you know, the blue screen, green screen effect. Because it's in the cockpit, that purple bit in the background is going to be replaced with screens of what's going on outside. So what I did was render that separately, as you can see here, then composite it into the final thing, stick a bit of a TV filter effect over the top. Looks pretty decent on the whole. Not a masterpiece, but it'll do. So what I did then was I thought, hang on, let's try and do something a bit more ambitious. It failed, but let's have a look at it anyway. Again, really bad 3D model of the interior of like a fighter cockpit. Same dodgy 3D head as before. I modelled a kind of dodgy helmet to stick over the top. Move the camera around, show the whole launch sequence, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, then basically exactly the same thing as before. Do the face first, which is what I did, and then I inked over the rest of it, rotoscoping over the 3D model and shading it. Final phase was obviously adding in all the cool stuff like the glows of the instrument panels inside and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's it basically. Really tricky stuff like rotating 360 degrees inside a cockpit while someone's head's moving and they're moving the joysticks around and doing all this crazy stuff. You know, we've got 3D, so we may as well use it. Obviously the ultimate aim is to be able to do this kind of stuff without any kind of reference at all. So that's probably the next challenge, I reckon. But yeah, I hope it helped. If you're animating, or if you just want to see how people with no money and no budget do these things, I don't know. Cheerio for now.